up and sit down.
Right, back again. Everything's had a chance to dry. So we can see where we're at with things at the moment. Wheels with the discs and that on, I've had a coat of paint. X12 gold leaf over some aluminium alclad, front and back. So yeah, not overtly shiny, which is what I want. The exhausts that you saw me doing have all dried off now, so they've come together really well. So we're at a little bit of a gluing stage now. Bike itself has had a chance to dry, the forks, handlebar assemblies, finally got the frame to sit. That was a 2-day job. I did one side first, then came back and did the other side, but it's actually quite twisted, and I think that's a moulding issue rather than anything else. So rather than faff with it too much, I'm leaving it as is to let it do its own thing, because a lot of it's covered up anyway with the fairings and things of that nature, so I'm not too fussed. Not too fussed at all. So I've got little pipes and fittings and all kinds of little gubbins to attach today as well. So that's what my focus is today. So all the little bits that I'm digging out today. So I'll just put that drawer away so I don't knock everything flying. I've got the destructions sat here. Let's just put a little bit of light in. It's very dark in here tonight. I'm so sorry about that. But I've got another light on order, so hopefully that situation is going to be rectified sooner rather than later. So we are looking to make sure I've got all the bits that I need. I'm still not sure that I have. I'm looking for a piece, and I've got a feeling they've moulded it out of a clear part. Hoping they haven't, but yeah, they have. That'll be why I couldn't find it. Blind as a bat. So let's retrieve that piece. Don't know why they've used a clear part for that. Anywho, they have. Mine's not the reason why. Mine is just to build the models and be happy. Be a happy little bee. So it looks like for some reason they've made the bumper out of clear plastic. Answers on a postcard as to why. Bearing in mind, it is an early Matchbox kit. So let's get a little bit of paint on some of these fittings whilst I think of it. A little bit of gunmetal I'll use for that, and a fine detail brush, because whilst these are off the model, I want to just put a little bit of gunmetal on some of the fittings, just so that it looks a little bit more authentic. Not a lot, but just enough. Just so that it looks like they're actual fittings that the hoses are going into. Just like that. And then I'll gun back over the pipes themselves with rubber black. So dull them down a bit. Get rid of that horrible shiny crud that they put on them. Let's just put a gripper on there so that I can paint the other end without getting it smothered in fingerprints. And this will dry off nicely whilst I do a little bit more building. So I'm not worried about it going on the black part of the bike because I've got to put my rubber black on. This is just to get the fittings looking like fittings. I've got 3 of those to do. Excuse me. Another epic bout of man flu ensued. Violin concerto can be played at your leisure. So that's that. What's happened since we've been on here? Well, Marc Marquez won the world title, MotoGP, so well done to Mr. Marquez. What a talent he is. If any of you are not MotoGP fans, I can understand. But if you get the chance, watch it back and look at the save he does at turn 1. And I defy anyone not to become hooked on motorcycle racing when they see that. Anyone else would have crashed. This guy does saves like that, week in, week out, week in, week out. You know, I've ridden motorcycles and I know how easy it is to bin one if you're not careful. And seeing that guy do that at turn 1 at Valencia at full pelt, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Watch it back. It's all over YouTube. If you YouTube it, just punch in Marc Marquez saves. There's a whole selection of them now appearing, and it's just phenomenal. Phenomenal to see him do it. Unbelievable is the operative word. So get all yourselves out there and just have a little looky-loo. I might as well give these a coat of gunmetal whilst I'm here, these calipers. Purely and simply because they're going to go over these with gold leaf. But I like the gold leaf to have a base of either flat aluminium or gunmetal. And the desired effect I'm after here is, you know, the bike's been through practice, the bike's been through qualifying, this is mid-race. So, you know, there's going to be some track dirt on them, and crud and muck, but not massive amounts. Going over gunmetal with the gold leaf just dulls it down a little and makes it look as if, well, actually, you know, the bike's been ridden a bit with these brakes on there. It's not super shining, it's not super dull, it's not super weathered, it's track. Give it a try, see what you think. Those of you that like shiny things, then build it shiny. Go over flat aluminium with this gold leaf. It just, for me, just gives a little bit of a less glary look to the gold. Dulls it down a bit. So that's those with a quick coat of that. Happy days. What else have I got there? Got an axle. Looks like a little mask of some kind, so I'll give that a quick lather in with a bit of gunmetal, just to make that look a bit sexier. A little bit of artistic license here, because not many photos exist of this bike. The actual bike now is in a museum. Steve Parrish, who used to ride with Sheene, took the bike out and did a few laps on it recently as part of the anniversary of Barry Sheene's death, and it was just lovely to hear it. The sound of that old two-stroke, giving it large, brought back wonderful, wonderful memories of a wonderful talent who sadly passed way too young, I think. He was on a program called Sporting Mavericks, and he was a bit of a maverick. He was very similar to James Hunt. You know, said it how it was. Upset the Pims and Sandwiches Brigade whenever he could. Not in a nasty way, in a cheeky way. And yeah, I miss him, I must admit. But then I miss Senna as well. Ayrton Senna. Yeah, don't see talent like that really often these days. But saying that, you know, Mr. Marquez, I think he's going to certainly beat Valentino's records and probably may even beat Agostini's existing records because he's only 24 and he's won 6 titles already. So do the maths, mate. You know, I think we're looking at someone there that is going to be one of the all-time greats. And I wish him all the best. I think he's a wonderful talent. I'm not taking anything away from Andrea Dovizioso this season, who's done a marvellous job on his Ducati. You know, it is a difficult bike to try to tame. Lots have tried, lots have failed. All credit to him, he done marvellous. I'd like to have seen Lorenzo be a bit more of a team player, but then that's just me being a bit political. Each to their own, I suppose. Let's just give these all a little coat of colour. Just to get something on them. Use this as a primer on a couple of these because I will change the colour, but just get something on there. A lot of these parts will go on later in the build, but it just gives them something with a bit of paint on. No, it makes them a damn sight easier to see on the sprues, if I'm honest. Not blessed with the best eyesight in the world, so anything that can help will help. Like so. So I think we can safely say that the first initial little bit of paintage is sorted. Give them a gunmetal. Just to highlight those, make them stand out a bit. Again, I'm using a bit of artistic license here, so there might be people going out there, oh, they weren't painted. Don't care, my kit, I'll do what I like. It's as simple as that. For me, it just adds a little difference between parts. So we are pretty much sorted on that. Let's give those fittings a little coat so they actually look like metal going onto the framework. Only creating the illusion at the end of the day, that's all I'm doing. Right. Done. Give me brush a little larrapin, clean that. And then we can get on and do a tiny bit of assembly on that, I think. Try and get the bike a bit further built than it currently is. Right. And it is literally little fiddly bits today. So I've got to attach the front wheel. Get that in place. Just give that a little tweak. Like so. Just off shot for a minute because I'm using my old plier roonies to get the stub axle in place. Just to hold the wheel down. Like so. So just sit the bike upside down and let that adhere. That's the beauty of this quick setting extra thin, because I can move on to something else whilst that's setting, which is going to be this little bad boy of a brake. Get that in place. Like so. So I just want to get that paint off of that face edge. Like so. And come along with a bit of the quick set. And drop that in as it should be. Like so. Glue stick. It's quite difficult for me to hold that, so not sure why I'm struggling so much there. It's because I haven't dubbed the pin out. Let's put the visor on actually, so I can actually see. That would be a good start, wouldn't it? Oh yeah. Because there's a bit of crud in the pinhole. That'll be why. There you go. Got a bloody glove now. Good things come to those that wait. So I'll let that dry, and then that'll have a bit of gold paint put on it. So in the meantime, we can have a look at that, and that fell straight back off. Obviously wasn't dried enough. I'll put that back out. Come back to that. There's ancillary parts to go on there, so I can join the brakes, the other brakes together, I think. Get them sorted out. least then I've got some bits made. So adding that bit goes that way round. Fingers McWilkinson strikes again. Come on. See how it goes. It's just holding the little git. That's it. Do one end first, I think. Get that nip with the old pliers. The pliers do come in handy. I'm brutal with my kits, as you've probably seen. But I like things to stick together as they should. Because if it don't stick together, it ain't going to last, is it? For some normal extra thin, I think. Yeah, it's not setting a bit too quick. That's it. Each have their own benefits. Sometimes the quick set goes off a little too quick. Brakes coming together nicely though. This is all that horrible fiddly stuff that can take ages on a kit. And just sometimes you think, oh come on. Oh, I'll just persevere with it. Persevere, that's all you've got to do. That's all I do. Works for me. Not all the time. There are times when it'll be on build and nothing goes your way. That's when you walk away from it. Come back another day, fresh eyes, revisit it. Because otherwise you'll sit there and sit there and sit there and get wound up with yourself. It's just not worth it. Only a bit of plastic. Give that a little buff on there to get rid of some of the placaroonie. Put a bit extra thin on there just to start getting tacky. There you go. Pliers on that end again, just to get that pin in, like that. will comply. Because again, once it's a coat of paint, Bob's your uncle. Right? Another breakdown. So that bumper could do with something, couldn't it? Let's have a think. Because that shouldn't really be clear. That, I don't like that. I've got tosh. So let's figure out what we can cover that with. Could be a bit of flat black in it actually. Let's go over a bit of semi-gloss. It might just thicken it up a bit. On that. Let's give it a bit of thickness. Not quite sure why they've done the hugger in clear. I suppose they do reasons. For whatever reason. That makes no sense to me, but again, what does? Let's have a little quick coat of black. Semi-gloss on there. Excuse me. And again. Got another little canister sat there that needs a bit of white, so I'll paint that whilst it's on my mind. Do that with a detail brush. Let's get some off the neck and the bottom. There you go. Done. Make sure I catch that a little bit. Now it's done. A little tiny detail. The goals. So that's that. What else have we got? Oh yeah, we've got to finish them canisters off, haven't we? Can I paint them with a bit of buff, I reckon, actually. I haven't used that yet, so let's find that. Because although it's a clear bottle, I want it to look like it's got some kind of brake fluidy type substance in it. So perhaps that will work. I don't want it to look white. I also don't want it too dark. If that makes any sense. Just want it to look off colour. There you go. Just off. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Thousands wouldn't be. I am. Told you. I'm easily pleased. Easily pleased. Not sure why I'm whispering. Perhaps on Barry Sheene's Bike Whisperer. There you go. That was the right choice, Festa. Get in there. Worried about any paint on the frame because, believe it or not, I will give the frame a little once over once everything's attached, just to bring it back and get rid of any leftover glue stains, things of that ilk. So that's that. So I'm happier with that. Are we looking for those? Actually, I think I'll give them a bit of a darken down as well. Fuck it. Why not? Bit there. Some of that. Yeah. Cool. Liking that. Liking that a lot. So, got that done. Now I need to chrome up these shock absorbers. So I'll just clean my brush. Oh, knock everything flying faster, why don't you, mate? That's it. So let's clean my brush. Move my sanding stick, so that's sticking to my hand. And my brushes at the end of every day, I give them a little bit of treatment with some Masters brush cleaner. So I'll do that on camera today, just to give you an idea of what that is. You'll see me flicking between brushes and you might think, skanky, he's not cleaning his brushes. I do clean my brushes, but I just, in between colours, I'm not too fussed. At the end of the day, they all have a good dung out. Right, bit of Maltol liquid chrome, and we'll do the chrome struts on here. Well worth having this stuff in your arsenal. It really is. Fantastic product. Boom. Get in there. Like that. All these little bits can have a chroming. Thusly. Like so. Chain's done, and what else was there? This shock absorber, that was it. Cool. So, like so. Boom, done. A little fix. And like so. Happy days. job is a good one. That's that all sorted out. So we can now start thinking about the next part, which is the radiator needs to go on. Persuasion fit. I do love this extra thin stuff. Done. Radiator in place. Stubborn little sod. Not too fast. Glue will evaporate. Go. Right. We'll go thing, count the nose, not wait. So that's the radiator done. We've got that weird little fairing holder to go in situ as well. So we'll sort him out in a moment. Look at that visor part, fairing part a bit more when everything's dry, I reckon. So we've got now radiator pipes to go in, so I'll put those in so that we can get them in place. go. And a little dab of glue just in the fitting, just to attach that to the actual engine, thusly. Yeah, just the little details. Okay, what else have we got? A couple of the radiator pipes that have now dried, so we can get those in situ. And have a look at getting those fitted correctly on the relevant sides. And they just go on the actual cylinders themselves. You can see, but a little dab of glue there. 1, 2, and get your pipe. I tend to use pair of pliers. Just drop that in like so. Drop. Done. He says as he knocks it off with his thumb. Plank. It's up here. Start that again. There you go. Note to oneself: if at first you succeed, leave the bloody thing alone. Trouble is, I don't want to put my finger on that gubbins down there. Just needs a little while. See, I'm going to knock that foot peg off again. Stay. I know where I want you to go. That's it. We got there in the end. See? Just like that. It's just a little fiddly there. Needed a little persuading. It's the trouble, a couple of bits are still a little damp. So I need perhaps to put these radiator belts on and leave the bike again. Perhaps build the rear swing arm assembly. Otherwise I'm going to end up knocking off pretty much everything I'm putting on, and I don't want to do that, do I? So let's put the last one on, and then we'll sit the bike away from everything, I think. We're in now though. Two radiator pipes, 3 radiator pipes. Yeah, they're all still on there. Front wheel is still on there. Foot peg just needs a little bit on there. Drop some extra fin into a few areas where it might not have taken, and I'm going to leave that alone now. to settle. Few Barley McGrew. Let's put that to one side. Liver rooms. Have a little tidy up. So I think we'll build the swing on. Let the calipers sit for now. The suspension mount. The other foot peg. Speedo out of the way. That canister for the front end. The linkage for the other side of the frame. And we're chain rear brake assembly on the swing arm, I reckon. Like so. That's what I think we should be doing now. Yeah. So, rear wheel, Bosch. Swing arm, Bosch. Chain, brake linkage. Drop that up underneath there. And then on the disc, like so. Happy days. So that is that. Chain goes on. Like so. Needs a little adjusting. That with me micro drill bit. Give that a bit of a seeing too. Chain will now fit like so. Okay, so you've got the rear brake linkage that side, chain and sprocket that side. Have your swing arm with the shock absorber mounts facing up, and then it's slot it all together and get it to fit. A little bit of tweaking required, but I find once I get the chain side on, everything then will just click into place. That being the theory. Like so. Like so. There you go. And that's the swing arm made. Just like that. Don't have to glue nothing. And that, my friends, is the linkage all done for the rear end. Works quite well, doesn't it? It's pretty much that ready to be put in place. Foot paper's really fighting me today. But it will comply. If it doesn't, well, hasn't got a choice, has it? That sits underneath there. That glues in there and that goes in there like that. So number 49 is the spindle for it. Now this is where it gets a bit hairy. As you can see, the spindle is actually plastic. Normally on kits these are metal or a large screw, but for some reason Matchbox went for a plastic spindle. Only they know why. That's what they've given me. Now this can go one of two ways, badly or well. Answers on a postcard as to which way you think this is going to turn out. That goes on there. That goes in there. Okay. Get said spindle. Shove it right the way through the frame. You might need a little jiggery pokery to get it in there. But it will go like that. Just like that. So damn foot peg again. I'll take that off. Foot pegs can go on last. Now decided, because I'm going to keep knocking that with my finger. And yeah, it's only going to end worse each time. Okay, and then just rest the shock absorber in place. Give that a dab of glue on each side. And that's how the wheel sits. Just like that. Yeah, it's in place. I could faff around with it, but I'm not going. I'm going to actually let it set overnight as is. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with that, how that's gone. It's pretty much the sub-assembly done on the bike, albeit one side. I've got a shock absorber to reattach on this side that had a fight with me, but I lost it one. So we can slap a bit of glue on in there, slap it on in there. Cool. We can let that settle now, I think. And then we can come back. The shock absorber I've actually taken back off because I want the other side to dry, just to be on the safe side, because at the moment it's quite heavy on one side. Every time I glue one side it pings off and the other side won't fit. So I'm going to let the one side cure and then come back at it. and let it have its set time. I'm going to pause there to let the model dry, and then when we come back I can put the other shock absorber on. The tank and that's all built, so I can have that ready to paint and build the instrument cluster. Put the decals on for that, figure out the fairing, and then it'll be a case then of hanging the exhausts and running cables. So all in all, yeah, I'll leave it there and we'll come back at it to reattach, or attach, sorry, all the other components of the bike, ready for that to be done, and then I can get on and start figuring out painting the levers, getting the colour scheme correct for those, and looking at printing some decal sheets off. I'll print my own and apply those, and then we're ready to start building the other bike that's going with this piece. So I'm going to pause there, let everything set, and then come back and do some more building tomorrow. So I'll see you shortly. Bye.